So the song, they turned it off, but it says, "Ain't no stopping us now." So, wow, this is just kind of crazy. It's incredibly humbling. And I first want to give thanks and honor to God, my Lord Jesus Christ, from where I gain my strength, my guidance, and my life. And also thank you so much to PRWeek, and congratulations to all the honorees. You all are so amazing. I'm kind of like, I'm a teacher, so I brought books up here with me. That song, "Ain't No Stopping Us Now," is so fitting because this is a real journey. And it's a journey that I've been on to improve the diversity and inclusion within our industry. And it's kind of exciting to see those efforts to be recognized. However, the journey is truly not over. But I hope that this work can hopefully continue to create momentum for our industry to not only recruit diverse talent, but to retain it and to promote it to its highest levels. So last week, I attended the celebration of life for one of my cousins, A. Barry Rand, who ascended to the highest ranks of corporate America to serve as the CEO of Avis and later of AARP. In remembrance of him, Kenneth Chenault, the former CEO and chair of American Express, shared both how he and Barry shared so many exhilarating but bittersweet moments as the two of the first three African Americans to become CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, because they too often were the only blacks in the room. Like Barry and Ken, I too often, and others in the public relations industry, have been the only ones in the room who were Black, or Hispanic, or Asian, or some non-Caucasian demographic group. But praise be to God, we really are making progress. We're making progress because of people like those who really have mentored me and coached me and sponsored me. And they're doing so for others, and many of you are doing it for people on your teams and throughout the industry. And I'm really honored to have some of those individuals here with me tonight, and I want you to know some of the lessons that I've learned from them that might help you as you continue to enhance the diversity and inclusion in our industries. So first, I kind of have a little competition now with my Harley-Davidson friend. My parents, which I think are amazing and the best parents in the world too, they're here tonight, Raymond and Lucille Tillery. In 1972, Western Electric transferred my dad from Maryland to Ohio for a short 2-year move, and they're still there, where he and my mom, who's a registered nurse, created a real stable home for my brother Ray and me in a town called Gahanna. So if you can say banana, you can say Gahanna. There you go. So hardly was a diverse place. It was not a diverse place in Central Ohio. In fact, I was usually one of the only African Americans in my class, and I never had a Black teacher growing up, but it was an excellent school system that I went to. My parents left everything that they knew, they took a risk, and they supported each other and us, and we did all right. My brother Ray has become a judge and an attorney, and I'm here. Lesson 1 is take a risk. Move outside of your comfort zone, even if you might be the only one, but bring others along with you. So here, my parents really pushed me to do whatever I set my heart out to do, and to remember that I could do all things through Christ, and to do my best, to try my hardest, and to fall down but always fall forward, and learn from your mistakes. Teachers like David Weisenberger, my high school journalism advisor, pushed me to be a better writer, to motivate my peers. As a managing editor of the school paper, being female or being a minority was not an issue. It was about being excellent. Lesson 2 is it's not always about race. It's about excellence. Because my dad noticed I love writing and special events, planning, and student council and cheerleading, he introduced me to a woman at AT&T who did marketing, communications, and internal comms. And so I want you to take another lesson, which is to introduce young people to the amazing world of communication careers, especially analytics. Yes, Elon has a program in analytics, undergraduate and grad. Okay, little fun. Also, it was my dad who encouraged me to apply to Howard University, the mecca, the capstone of higher education, where I met my second mom, Dr. Barbara Hines. And Dr. Hines is here. Dr. Hines is a Caucasian blonde from Texas, and she dedicated her life to educating African Americans in communications at Howard University, historically Black college. She's been my advisor, my mentor, my coach, a disciplinarian, friend, encourager, editor, and more. She sponsored me for many scholarships and internships and more, and she's here tonight. The next lesson is, white professionals, you too can be the biggest champions of diversity and inclusion. Being willing to be the only white person in the room, being willing to learn and to grow. Dr. Hines hired me to teach at Howard University in 1998. Like she also did a few years earlier, she hired Professor Connie Cannon Frazier, who helped to establish the advertising sequence at Howard. Connie taught me later, she taught me in the classroom, and even when I kind of had foot in the mouth disease, she still forgave me. You can ask her that story, it's kind of funny. Later, she and I worked alongside each other as colleagues on the nation's first advertising and public relations inclusivity conference back in 1999. She now serves as one of the nation's highest ranking African Americans in the advertising industry as the Chief Operating Officer of the American Advertising Foundation. She commissioned me to complete several high-profile research projects tracking AAS most promising students, as well as understanding millennials and boomers for the advertising market. Advertising and public relations, next lesson, must work together to understand how to communicate and to market across fault lines and to support working towards inclusion. Another more recent project I assisted her with was a project about Black women's identity or representation, unscripted reality television. And it was done in cooperation with Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. This is my sorority that I joined as an undergraduate. It's an international organization, and it has illustrious women like Zora Neale Hurston and Anita Hill as members, and through which I've made lifelong friends, like Leona Willis, a documentarian, filmmaker, and producer who's here with me tonight. She stood by me and helped me raise my 3 kids when my marriage fell apart. And she cooked and she kept clean so that I could work consulting jobs to make ends meet while teaching and serving as an associate dean at Howard. So a lesson there is that I want to remember that all of us go through stuff. We go through really bad stuff sometimes, and we need to let people know our stories and how we overcome situations. But we also must support our colleagues and friends so that when we fall, because we all will fall sometimes, and when we feel pain, we can move forward towards healing. She also worked on a project, Leona did, with the New York chapter of PRSA and other professional groups like the Council of PR Firms. And one of the greatest leaders that I know, and sometimes an unsung hero, is Ms. Donna Ranella, a consultant with the PR Council and an extraordinary executive search consultant. Donna and I established the Council's first HBCU job fair at Howard University. She helped strengthen the National Black Public Relations Society, she and I working together, and now is working on a second job in networking reception and diversity panel with all of North Carolina's HBCUs, which will be held at Elon University on February 25th. So if you would like to participate, we also have Stephanie Borland here, who is our Elon's Corporate Relations Director. So the lesson here is we need to commit to working with Hispanic serving institutions, Native American colleges, predominantly Black institutions, and fish and ponds beyond the story programs from which many of us graduated. I met Donna through my research partner, Lynn Applebaum at City College in New York, who we met through Ofield Dukes, and thank you PRWeek for inducting Ofield into the Hall of Fame. And I was given the honor to edit Ofield's autobiography, and I want to thank Shelley Spector, who runs the PR Museum, for publishing his autobiography, and also for continuing to work on Diverse Voices project, which some of you may know. So this is the other book. The launch party is tomorrow night. And so I really hope that the lesson from this is that we must know about our multicultural history in PR, like the 40 role models that are featured in Diverse Voices, Profiles for Leadership. So purchase it and it'll help support scholarships and other programs to diversify our industry. I really do believe that our industry efforts are making a difference, especially working with the PRSA Foundation, through which I met Lou Capozzi, who sponsored me and to be inducted into the Arthur W. Page Society with Tom Martin and Dr. Kathleen Kelly as my other sponsors. And I'm committed to working with the Page Society, especially with its president, Roger Bolton. Roger's here tonight also, who is the chair of my Elon School of Communications Advisory Board and a proud Elon dad. And I'm also committed to continue to champion PRSSA, led by my friend Janine Garcia, who is the only person who can get me to fly into a Hurricane Wilma, in order to tell the PRSSA students to go home because they shouldn't have flown in there like we did. Okay, anyway, so one of the final lessons is that we must invest into our talent pipeline, entry level, mid-level, senior level, as well as executive levels. It takes paid internships. Can y'all say that with me? Paid internships. And we also have to have livable wages, and we need to support and encourage talent to be prepared to go into management positions. We also need to focus on supplier diversity, hire more independent practitioners or minority-owned agencies to partner with you. We need inclusion in the industry where all people will have stronger supervisory skills, better research, listening, empathy skills. It's really important that we retain talent, like the few alumni that you got to, that stood up earlier. Support and mentor them. Like Heather Hurd, who's an Elon alum who volunteers her time with PRSSA. Join her in supporting its scholarships and chapters. Or Kanika Watson, a Howard University alumna who's the social media director for our nation's federal agency and is now starting her own consulting practice. Or Chelsea Brown Ferguson, Syracuse alumna, an agency account executive. Or Nisha Warren, a Hampton University alumna, an account executive. Taylor is one of the first agencies to partner with me both at Howard and at Syracuse to establish scholarships and internship programs. And although they're not here, I have many males. So a few shout outs to them because I'm super proud. You saw a picture of Kent Landers, who was one of my first advisees out of Tennessee, and he's now a vice president of Coca-Cola. And another mentee, Eric Hall, international student from Bahamas, who's now working as a social media manager in at the Bahamas in Atlantis. He still hasn't invited me to come, but it's okay. And then finally, Sean Parker, APR, who's an executive at Procter & Gamble. I say this because it takes inclusive environments where they can excel and grow to become holding companies and CCOs. I want them to be holding company presidents and CCOs and not just a desire to lead the industry. I share these stories about my village, and I hope that you will join me in improving our industry, because no one should ever feel alone like Barry did. No one is self-made. It takes a village, and I need you to help me to apply the lessons that I've learned along the way. I'm humbled by this Hall of Fame introduction, and I appreciate those who stood beside me, in front of me, and behind me, including my 3 kids who couldn't come today because they have like school and work. But I really love being their mom, and they mean the world to me. So join me in this journey. Together, we can make this a legendary impact, and know that I can't stop. I won't stop. And I want you to join me, because there ain't no stopping us now.